So at the start of this game, I was kind of just slow playing a bit because it's Skeld and I never really know what to do on this map. This map's very hard for imposters, so I was just kind of slow playing a bit, seeing what my teammate would do. However, after checking admin, it didn't look as though my teammate had killed anyone yet, so I figured after being seen in admin, I'd shut those doors and then try and go for a kill left side, which we get. Wasn't a huge fan of my teammate reporting here, but I guess it's not the worst thing ever. So here I'm trying to push the angle that the body is older than it really is based on admin info. Because the older this body is, the better it looks for me, given that I was only over there killing at the end and my teammate was over there also at the end. So I kind of wanted this to be thought of as older, but it seems Chom was pretty convinced, and I didn't know he was going to be on admin at the end. So yeah, that didn't work out, so I had to back off. So what I say here about me being in medbay has kind of two purposes. One, this is something I do when I'm crew sometimes and someone starts giving admin. I lie about my location to see if they'll clear me, to see if the admin's real or not, or if they're just making it up. And I was originally my original plan was to do that here as Imp, because the Chomp and people who've played with me know this is something I do. But then when they started kind of believing me that I was in med, I decided to just take it as a location. So as you may have noticed, I'm kind of fast forwarding through this round because I just couldn't find a good kill. I considered killing there in admin when a bunch of people were in there, but my teammate was right there and I didn't want to frame them. Also, there's a cool bug. I somehow managed to close the doors to Elec and hit lights at the exact same time, and both sabotages happened, which on Skeld can't happen usually, so there's a bug. So here I see an opportunity to finally kind of do something. I get seen going north from Cams and then vent down south, and I wasn't sure if Evil Eye there saw me vent, but I decided to kill them anyway, thinking Elena would kill Brown. And then the body gets reported by Chomp, and I find out that I framed my teammate. Yeah, fun fact, I had no clue that Trey does the same thing I do, closing the cafe doors at the start of every round. I don't know where that meta sus came from, given how little I've played with Trey. So my teammate got voted out, and I could have saved them, which really sucks. Where has that happened before? But at least White keeps sussing Python, so I've got that going for me. So here I get seen going south from admin with the plan to call comms and then vent up. Unfortunately, the person I kill is Brown, who I now realise was the one who saw me going south from admin, but in the end it worked out. So, unfortunately, white seems to be just clearing everyone because they saw them rather than because they're actually clear, which unfortunately just leaves me, which isn't good. Thankfully, Trey saw Chomp come from the medbay direction and is sussing them, which I'm not entirely sure if that makes sense given that Python saw the vent animation allegedly. Um, but he didn't say exactly when, other than that it was during comms. And I think White had been just generally distrusted this game, so nobody really listened to them, at least at this point. So Chomp got voted out, which is good because I kind of need less people at this point. Because if you look at the taskbar at the top, the crewmates are very close to winning. So at this point, I kind of knew I was up against it, and I figured there was very little chance of winning this. Interestingly enough, Trey still thinks it was Chomp. So here I claim to have a task left for two reasons. One, in the hope that at least one person will follow me so I won't have trouble finding people at the end. Ideally, if all of them would come with me, I can turn the lights off and snipe one. And two, to discredit White, who is claiming to have tasks left, because White was already the person I was kind of thinking of blaming. One of the reasons I was thinking of blaming White, other than the fact they've generally been the least talkative in meetings, is the fact they sussed me, was that Chomp kind of vouched for them, and the running theory at the moment seems to be that Chomp was bad. With that said, I skip here to try and tie the votes because I can't let White get voted out yet, because if White does, then I'm getting voted out next. I need to keep them alive for one more round and then vote them out at a critical point. I also need to work quick because the tasks are almost done. So here I initially follow White to try and make sure that they won't be clear for anything, but nobody else came with me, so I had to break off just to get a kill. So I kill Trey, insta report because it slows down tasks, and then I hard accuse White. As an added bonus, White talking about their tasks here kind of makes it seem like they're confessing, which is good. Unfortunately, Grey was with White at the end. Now, in an ideal world, I would have stayed where White was and killed Grey, but I was rushing for kills and I didn't know Grey was going to show up with White. So here I just have to play it off that it's kind of a bad clear, but yeah, this is rough. I'm really glad they didn't ask me where I saw them kill before, like, saying that they were in storage, because that could have outed me, but as soon as they say they're in storage, I just say the body's in storage. Thankfully, Python was sus of White for voting him for no reason the previous rounds. So, my game plan now, and I've got to do this quick because of the tasks, I need to kill Grey, who's going to vote me no matter what, I think, and then blame White. Unfortunately, right as I went to hit report, the tasks got done. I, considering how bad that situation was, I think I did alright. Like, sure, crewmates didn't play great, but, like, that was so hard. The fact I even got that far and was so close to winning, I'm reasonably pleased with that. However, I don't think you guys just want to watch me almost winning in a video, so here's one of the easiest imposter games I've played in a while.